Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over Harbinger issue 2, and I gotta tell you, a lot of shit's about to happen. Like, a lot. So, let's get started. So with issue 2, we open up with Toyo Harada 10 years into the past in Mumbai, India. He's being led through a village by this child to a blind woman with no eyes, and the blind woman reveals that she's been watching what she believes to be some type of demon child, and we find out that the baby has powers, and that the people in the village have been afraid of the child because he can go into people's minds and project things that make them afraid. And Harada is there to take the child. He becomes kind of significant later on. His powers, we don't know how powerful they are, but we do find out that Peter isn't the first child that Harada has been searching for. He's been searching for kids for a long time, so it leads us to wonder what type of army or what type of institution that he's building. We see Harada struggle as he enters the mind of the child, and we learn that the child's name is Darpan the Mirror. We also learn a few extra things about Harada. As we see a glimpse into Harada's past through the child, we see that he is a survivor of the Hiroshima bombings. This tells us a lot of things. That one, Harada is a lot older than he appears to be, and that because this is 10 years ago, we don't know to what extent the child's powers have developed into, since he's been with Harada for that long. So we switch back to Peter, Chris, and Joe. And when we see them where they left off, we see the SWAT team of Pittsburgh coming into the home, and they immediately hit them with this huge electromagnetic field type of blast. And it kind of fucks everybody up. Everybody's on the floor cringing, feeling sick. Peter can't use his powers. We see Mr. Toll's punk ass lurking, just watching, waiting for the right time where he could swoop in and do some punk ass shit. Then we switch back and see Toyo Harada telepathically broadcasting himself as a dog, communicating with Peter, giving him like some motivation to use his powers. And in the end, what happens is pretty cool. Things become a legit action movie after this. Once Peter is hyped up and gets the motivation he needs from Harada, it's like a full-blown Die Hard type scene. Peter gets super angry. He does this Hulk smash type angry stuff, like rip off your t-shirt stuff, like he's throwing people everywhere, he's blocking bullets, he's making people spit up blood. I don't know if he's crushing them from the inside out or not, but blood's coming out of their mouth, so I'm guessing something's gotta hurt. He then goes to the extreme and make them, hear what he hears all the time, and we learn that he hears this type of buzzing, staticky type noise in his ear, and he puts that in everybody's head, and it makes them cringe. They can't take it. Then he finds Mr. Toll. He finds him in the truck. He picks up the truck with his mind, and he smashes it into the ground. He smashes the truck into the ground. So let's stop right here for a minute. I don't know if you guys were wondering this, but how is Mr. Toll still alive? He's messed up pretty badly, but how is he still alive? He had on no seatbelt. He was sitting in a chair with a bunch of computers around him. Peter smashed the truck like the whole front of the truck is smashed into the ground. So I'm pretty sure everything is smashed on top of him. So I feel like he should be dead. But I mean, I guess this is comics. This is comics, so you know, not everybody dies too easily. But for me personally, I feel like he should have died or something. But let's get back to it. So when Peter finds Mr. Toll, he's pretty much had it. He's tired of him. He wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to go back. So he makes Mr. Toll forget everything. Like every single thing. Whoever loves him, if anyone loves him, who he loves, who he is, his whole life, his whole existence, his whole presence. Peter makes him forget it all. But remember, guys, Peter has made Mr. Toll forget who he was, his memory before, and he's come back from it. So just keep that in mind, and then we're going to see if Mr. Toll is going to come back. Is this going to be a big issue or not? This could be the end of him. So Peter starts to lose control of his powers, and he can't stop it. He's going to bring the whole place down. And he asks Harada for his help. Harada tries to get him to do it on his own. But eventually Harada brings Peter back into his mind to calm him down. And we learn that Mr. Toll is part of an organization called Project Rising Sun. And this organization specifically targets Science like Peter and Harada. Harada then goes on to explain that he can give Peter a place of sanctuary so that he doesn't have to keep running. And everything kind of hits Peter all at once, like there's no going back. After all the things that he's done, he's pretty sure he's gonna take Harada up on this offer. When Peter comes back to, he gets up to see Chris and Joe waiting for him. Joe is kind of freaking out over everything that's happened. You know, we find out that he's a paranoid schizophrenic. So all of this is a bit much for him. So, like action movie clockwork, a female by the name of Rachel, who is a recruiter of Psyops, she pulls up on him conveniently in a van and says, "Peter Sanchek, welcome to the Harbinger Foundation. Get in." And Joe just starts freaking out. This is all too much for him. He's like, no, hell no. And they pretty much force him to get in the car and hope that he calms down. While they're driving off, Harada conveniently wipes everybody's mind who was able to see the scene. Now, if I was a neighbor, I would not be outside right now. I don't know why there are people out right now where a SWAT team is at. I would have been in my house, blinds closed, in the back of a room somewhere, minding my own business. But of course, Harada has to do this because if people start asking questions, one thing could lead to another, and things could become way too chaotic. Speaking of chaotic, Joe starts to have a psychotic episode, and everyone's trying to get him to stop, make him calm down. He's just not calming down. And Rachel tries to do something telepathically to keep him calm, but this freaks him out even more. And Peter's like, no, nobody can do anything to his head, just leave him alone. And things get a little bit sad for here. They kind of go downhill. Rachel tells him that he has to leave his friends, that he can't take them with him. And of course it's hard, but it's what has to be done. So Peter agrees to go with him, but he tries to make a deal that his friends are kept safe, and the people that are taking him away agree to keep this deal. So tell me what you guys think, because I don't know. If I'm going with a bunch of strangers who don't know me, who don't know my friends, I don't know if they would keep them safe. So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Chris and Joe will be okay? Do you think they'll come up missing? Do you think their minds will be wiped? No spoilers if you've already read ahead, but just leave some guesses in the comments down below. So after this, Peter makes Chris normal again, and everything you expect to happen happens. So remember, Chris was fully satisfied with everything about her life once Peter made her fall in love with him. She was fulfilled. You know, she was, like I said, happy. She didn't want anything. She didn't feel lonely. She didn't have like all that sadness that people normally carry around with them when their life is lacking something. And he just took all of that away from her in seconds. So not only does she feel pain, she feels anger, she remembers everything, her body's been violated, and she completely lashes out at him, like fully attacks him, and they have to hold her back. When Peter turns to say goodbye to Joe, Joe completely looks at him in a different way, and Joe reveals that he's pretty terrified of Peter, and Joe's a schizophrenic, so it takes a lot for him to be terrified. Him saying this says a lot, especially because they were really close friends. They've been through a lot. Peter kept him safe. He looked after him. So this kind of is like a knife in Peter's heart. This really hurts him. This is the only friend he pretty much ever had. This is the only friend he's ever had, ever trusted. And he's saying he doesn't want to be friends anymore because he's terrified of him. And yeah, it all just ends on a big, sad note. It's like moving in the middle of high school after you've just made a bunch of friends and got used to everything, except this is worse. But if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions. I'm trying to get better and better with each video. So yeah, bye, thanks for watching.